Welcome to Barkhausen Nature Bites. Today we're talking about some of the many ways animals are going to stay warm during the winter months. Now right now we're in a bit of a stretch of cold weather for sure. It's below zero at night, single digits during the day. Basically it's so cold out, as soon as you step outside your boogers are freezing up right away. That's how cold it's been. And we have to wonder, how in the world are animals like deer and birds able to stay warm? Well, they're well adapted to do so. For deers and other mammals, they have fur, and that's the main way they're going to stay warm for the winter months. And for deer, they're going to have a really thick winter coat that's different from what they have on the summer. Summer, they have a lighter coat in color, thinner fur. It's not nearly as thick as a winter coat, allows them to stay cool in the summer. And until as it gets cooler in the fall, they're going to shed this fur, and they start growing this fur in. They're not going to just drop all the summertime fur and walk around naked in the woods for a while as they grow this stuff in. That's just silly. Let's be serious. They're just going to slowly change it over, much like your dog sheds their fur. And this winter coat, it's really thick. There's coarse, hollow outer hairs, guard hairs sometimes we call it, and then below that there's undercoat, really fuzzy, dense furs as well. And the outer hairs, these guard hairs, they're pretty long, about 2 inches long. They're hollow, and those are really going to help trap air against a deer's body so it doesn't lose their body heat, much like insulation. It keeps that deer warm. And those outer hairs, there's quite a bit of them. There's about 2,500 of them per square inch, so that's about 2,499 more to the top of my head. Don't judge, it happens. And each one of those hairs is attached to this oil gland, and so it helps that one hair stay waterproof. It helps the deer out quite a bit. And also each one's attached to a little muscle, and so the deer can raise and lower those hairs to help it trap it more or less air against their body, help them stay even warmer. It's kind of like how we get goosebumps, similar to that. Beneath that, you have this undercoat, really fuzzy hair, really dense. It's about 12,000 per square inch, and that's going to trap even more air against the deer's body, help it retain their body heat, not lose it out to the air, and help them stay warm for the winter months. And this works so well that when deer get snow on their backs, it doesn't melt. They'll have to shed it off because it retains so much of their body heat. Now for birds, it's a little bit different. I got this here. This is actually a snow goose. I thought it was appropriate. And for birds, instead of having the fur, they obviously have the feathers, and they have quite a bit of feathers. So about 25,000 on a goose like this. For smaller birds, 7,000 to 9,000, so quite a bit. And those down feathers, those feathers are really going to help that bird retain their body heat, much like insulation, just like the deer fur does as well. So for the birds, if you ever seen a bird out in like on a limb or in a feeder and look kind of poofy, it's like sitting there chilling, no pun intended, it's looking really poofy. Well, what they're doing is they're puffing up those feathers, trap even more air against its body, help it stay pretty warm. Now you're probably wondering, what about their legs and their feet? You know, there's no feathers on those. Well, they do have specialized scales that allow them to trap heat on their feet, so they don't have to lose that heat like they do other areas, maybe other areas. But the specialized scales help their feet stay warm. But the big thing is they have something called a counter-current heat exchange. What that is that the core of their body, as that blood leaves the core of their body, so their heart, and it goes down to their legs, it loses some heat to the blood returning back from the feet, warms that blood up before it gets back to the heart, so the bird doesn't have to use nearly as much energy to warm that blood up. What that does mean, though, is that their feet are pretty cold. They're just above freezing. That's about it. So what happens if they get a little too close to freezing, the birds will bring up their foot, tuck in their down feathers, warm it up. Maybe they'll sit on it, squat on it, put their feathers over it, warm up, but just keep it above freezing, and that's it. And so it's a really efficient system. It saves them a lot of energy, so they don't have to constantly warm up all their blood in their entire body. And if you wonder, doesn't that hurt? You know, like when your fingers get cold, it hurts a little bit. Well, for birds, they really don't have the muscle and nerve tissue like we have in their feet. It's just really just tendons and bones, so they really don't feel much at all down there, so they're doing just fine that way. So as the temperatures continue to be this booger freezing temperature, really cold out there, and you're thinking about the animals, they're definitely well adapted to survive those cold temperatures. And even though they're not complaining, they're not going to turn down some food or a little brush pile, some shelter you put out for them to help them out through these winter months. And if you're really worried about it and you're like, gosh, I feel bad for them, just remember what that one lady said, let it go. They'll be just fine. Thanks for watching Barkhausen Nature Bites.